Hey everyone, thanks for joining me back in the app development and runtimes track for session 2 of day 2 of TechCon 2025. Really appreciate the momentum that we've had, the interaction. Just a reminder, throw your questions in the chat. We'll be monitoring that throughout the presentation, as well as at the end of the day, just like yesterday at about 2:30 Eastern time, we'll have our office hours where you can join and actually come off of mute and ask questions live. But without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Shane O'Rourke, who's our product management lead for Java and AI innovation at IBM. And he's going to be jointly presenting with Dan from our Red Hat team. So Shane, without further ado, I'll turn it over to you, man.
Thank you very much, Andy, and welcome everyone. It's an incredibly exciting time to be working in Java and AI development at the minute. The AI landscape is evolving at an unprecedented rate. Not a week goes by that some new innovation is happening in the AI space, as you're all well aware. We've gone from simple chatbot integrations to advancing into retrieval augmented generation, or RAG, and now we're entering a new era of autonomous agentic AI frameworks. We believe that agentic AI represents the next frontier. So moving beyond passive AI models that generate responses to systems that reason, plan, and take actions autonomously. And although agentic AI is really in its early stages, we believe it's going to redefine how modern applications are built. Gartner have labeled agentic AI as one of the key technology trends of 2025. And from a Java perspective, the Quarkus team is really leading the charge on how Java applications can not only integrate with AI, but really truly harness it, whether it's infusing existing applications with AI capabilities or by building AI native applications from the ground up. And that's exactly what we're here today to talk about. Daniel O is a thought leader in this space. He's a Java champion, CNCF ambassador, a developer advocate, and an international speaker on the Java and AI developer circuit. He's going to give us an introduction into how Quarkus can enable developers to build high-performance, AI-powered Java applications and demonstrate the cutting-edge agentic AI innovation in Quarkus. So let's dive in. Please welcome Daniel O. Dan.
Hey, thank you so much. That's a great introduction. I really appreciate that, Shane, and thanks for coordinating Andy as well. Hello, everybody. I'm Daniel, Dan O, and from Boston. So I'm super happy to be here and to talk about and share Agent AI stuff. As Shane mentioned earlier, so AI is not just happen today or yesterday. It began decades ago, and then it keep evolving. Some of the great technology and some of the use cases, like a project of AI, a lot of insurance company or finance company already adapt to that technology to find to detect some unusual or normal some kind of problem, and then it changed and evolved into generative AI with ChatGPT and Google Gemini 2.5 years ago, and we are arrived in agentic AI today. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how to supercharge agentic AI application and a Java application, in terms of a developer experience, and then try to share that new agentic AI with the Java application with your developer team. So can you see my screen, by the way? I mean, I share my slide. Shane, can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see it.
Thank you.
Perfect. Yeah. I just make sure everything's good for online stuff. Perfect. So before we get starting, I gotta spend pretty much time with the live demo today. But before that, let me just remind some a terminology. You probably heard a lot of AI terminology, like a prompt engineering and AI and Gen AI and agentic agents and RAG and fine tuning, alignment tuning, reasoning thinking, and so on. So what is an agent? So there are millions different ways to define agents right now because there is no standard agentic AI application implementation or some technology, every single AI company, services company, startup, or a giant company, they has own agentic AI platform framework, how to define, how to develop agents. But fundamentally, in the common definition of agent, it's a sort of some kind of programming system designed for perceiving their environment and the reason about it and take action to achieve a specific goal, which is probably some personal assistant. You probably not super fan of the Marvel movie, but you probably heard about it, watch about that. So one of my favorite character, Iron Man, in the Marvel movie, the Iron Man, Tony Stark, has his own AI assistant named Jarvis. That is some kind of persistent, I mean, a personal assistant, like an agent. And the more important thing when you have your personal agent, so agent has some level of autonomy and intelligence, like a human being. So you're gonna ask whatever you want, like, hey, turn it up on my like a computer, while you're like some lightning or some of the any kind of your personal stuff. So that AI agent will take care of that for you. And then there are interesting definitions you probably heard, from Anthropic. There is one of the like a startup company, huge contributor to agent and AI industry right now. And then, so they actually distinguish the two different terminology here in workflow and agent, because a lot of people, individual developer, doesn't matter Java, Python, or JavaScript, and the companies as well, enterprise company, they actually interchangeably use these two different like a terminology and concept, like a workflow and agent. So workflow is a predefined code path. For example, you have three different AI powered or AI infused application or services. The first AI application, hey, like going to like a ChatGPT, some O1 model, hey, I need to write some essay or some like a poem or some writing some stuff. And then next AI application, try to make it fancy that writing with some professional manner as like some MIT doctorate level or some professor level. And the next AI services try to the last minute like a editor that writing article like a grammar, vocabulary, and so on, or even translate another language like some Spanish or French and so on. So you have fundamentally three different AI services, and each AI services needed to connect to different LLMs, and then once you got an output from first AI service, and you're going to pass down to second LLM, second AI services, and then it will again pass down to third AI services with something different LLM. This is just some kind of workflow you already define, and you're going to do as a developer a more programmatically way to define how it works among other AI applications and multiple and LLMs. However, the agents, so you don't need to set, or you don't need to program the workflow or path. You just let LLM, like a single LLM or a multi-LLM, hey, you have a multiple resources, like a tools, you have like a web search tool, you have like a social networking tool, you have some memory tool, you have some cloud tools, you have a bunch of the tools, you could use that, one LLM, multi-LLM, and LLM decide which tool I'm going to use based on the user prompt or system prompt. So it's autonomously decide which tool I'm going to communicate, and until I got a best answer to end user, which is a human being. So this is agents. So, and a lot of people curious, so what kind of use case I'm going to use as the enterprise use cases, because everybody to go to like a Gen AI or Agentic AI, and then everybody wants to create agents. But I'm a little bit tired of just chatbot. But I'm really more adopting this agent concept into my enterprise business services. So here's some example, like an automated task, whatever your customer or any enterprise company, they do something, do some kind of task repeatedly, continuously by human being, they should be make it automated. So previously you have some automation tool like a Terraform or Ansible or some Puppet, any kind of like automation tool, make it better, make it easier for IT operation team. And now agents make it better and a great performance and an effective way to automate that uh, manual task and a personalized user experience. I mean, imagine that you probably use every single day, like some Apple iPhone and a Siri or some of the Alexa on your at home. So you're going to ask the AI agent, hey, turn on the TV, change the volume, or turn up my like some air conditioner, or ask some recommend some any restaurant around me. That is all personal user experience, along with some intelligent assistant. Ask any question, but not a random general thing. You can ask like a ChatGPT, Google Gemini, or like even DeepSeek R1 in a public service, which is really good with based on universally generate a fine-tuning model. But sometimes you're going to ask a very personal question related to your own circumstances and occasion. Maybe they don't answer properly. So that's in a project company, we need to fine-tune our own fundamental model along with our own business domain. So that is a more intelligent assistant for when you create agent or some prediction. So as you mentioned earlier, a lot of enterprise company, finance company, they already adopt predictive AI many years ago, try to detect or identify unusual stuff and then report to IT IT operation team, like a human being stuff, and they just figure it out and decide, hey, this is not unusual stuff. We already expected this some seasonally like a high spike, something like that. So this is all like a possible agent stuff. So what is the agentic AI app right now? So easy and quick answer. Whatever you using any program language like a Java, Python, JavaScript, or .NET, or any kind of program language, and then you're going to develop, implement any use case of agent rather than workflow, and then you're going to say your AI application is agentic AI application. So just wanted to highlight it here. So some people are a little bit confused. What is agentic, or like is there some kind of generative AI? So it's normally say it's a keep evolving AI technology, starting like a predictive AI. Previously, it's a for predictive AI. It's a more like a using like a deep learning, machine learning, MLOps. You probably heard about that. It's going to moving forward to Gen AI like a 2.5 years ago, like a ChatGPT, Google Gemini, and so on. And now we approach it to agentic AI. I know, so some of the Gen AI services like O1, ChatGPT, OpenAI, or the other, a lot of like AI services company, they actually adds on agentic AI capability into like a general Gen AI services as well. But the truth is, and then we are moving to agentic AI right now. So how do you actually agentic AI make it better your LLM experience? So fundamentally, the LLM, like a large language model, so it just get input from user, like we say prompting. It ask any question, hey, why sky is so blue in the Boston area rather than New York City or LA? You can ask any question. That is the input. And then LLM just try to figure out the answer, like from Wikipedia or some of the big giant knowledge base, and then just output. That is somehow LLM works for your Gen AI stuff. And then the agent try to augment that experience with the LLM and the capability. So here's the thing. So we're gonna let LLM know which available resources LLM can use right now. Hey, you have like some web search tool. You have some social media tool. You could even use your in-memory stuff to keep saving your previous conversation and the regional thinking and so on. So rather than just find some knowledge base, try to let LLM reasoning thinking, hey, why actually ask this question? I just keep retrieve a previous conversation with this guy and this person based on memory and retrieve some memory grab. Oh, I think this is relevant to this previous question rather than brand new one. And then try to access some tool like a web searching or some kind of other like a Google Maps, or because I'm gonna ask, hey, I need to recommend some fancy Italian restaurant in a Boston downtown area. So, but he actually asked several times before he really want to go to some restaurant based on Google rating point 4.5 and above rather than like a 3-point Google rating. So this is all making LLM better with augmented LLM experience by agents. So here's the example Agentic AI application, which is similar and along with our agent use cases. Personal assistant like a Siri or the Alexa, you pretty much familiar with that experience before, and then automating customer support. So whenever it's like a current AI chatbot is a pre-defined path how to guide the human being customer. If you ask something, oh, you're gonna go this URL, you're gonna go this documentation, you're gonna go to this one. Is there anything matching the predefined cases? Oh, you can just make a phone call with our real person. So sometimes it's a little bit annoying people and the customer. So automating customer support, it automatically agent categorize, hey, this is more sales support, this is more some other support, this is related to another existing support, and then based on previous use cases, a previous case from this customer, the agent gives some more great experience to end user. And then like a home system and a robotic application, finance training platform, and then most likely content generation tool. So you can ask one agent, and then that agent possibly connect to other agent, because you're going to ask just, hey, create some fancy presentation for a specific topic, and this agent try to generate image and like a slide deck and then some other stuff, communicate other agent or other tools. So this is all possible agentic AI application example. So here's a key difference between traditional application, pretty much like a not AI application, or some even predictive AI application. I went to the JFocus in a couple of months ago in Stockholm, Sweden. There was a really great talk. I just put in the link here. It introduced AI agent. I got some inspired from that talk, which is really cool stuff, because people still wanted to clarify some difference, what kind of differences between my existing application versus agentic AI application. But agentic application, people keep focusing on and highlighting autonomy, but it's not 100% autonomy. You cannot predict 100%. So it's somewhere between predictive application and non-predictive application. For example, you can see that predictive application, where's my bank account and balance? You can definitely find that number when you access your like smart banking or online banking. And on the other hand, non-predictive like a use case, hey, I want to chat with my manager, like a one-on-one call. You cannot predict the outcome until you actually meet your manager and have some conversation for the next like 30 minutes. So agentic AI still like a middle layer between two sides, and then try to like classify and support a ticket and writing sales support, which is way better than experience and outcome compared to existing like some traditional AI application or like a deep learning, machine learning application. So here's the agentic design patterns. So there are many different patterns. As I mentioned earlier, there's no standard way right now, but there are some practices and design pattern, everybody like aware of that when they develop agentic application. Doesn't matter Java, .NET, Python, like a program language. This is like a known design pattern right now. So reflection is like a let LLM try to rethinking and then reconsider why this user prompt is asked. So try to reflect over and over again and make it better. So a little bit some kind of not 100% same thing, reasoning logic and thinking like a DeepSeek R1, but it's let LLM and agent application reflect the prompt stuff and send it back to output. And of course, the function encoding what tool use. So it's as long as you have many tools on your agentic application to communicate with the like a multi LLMs, that'll be better agentic AI application. And the planning, so like try the multi-planning, so multi-step planning. Hey, we're gonna go to this tool first, and then our next step, try to improve the prompt again, and then next go to another tool, and then go to another LLM. So in the reality, and then most complex use cases to build agentic AI application based on multi-agent collaboration. So not just one agent. For example, I mentioned earlier, you probably want to have your own personal assistant, like a Jarvis in the Marvel movie, which means I have my own personal assistant. You also have own personal assistant. Here is go. So my personal assistant, and Shane has his own, and Andy has his own. And then we need to some meet up in person, so many Boston area. And then I don't want to check the schedule or some preference or some eating stuff, but I just ask my agent, and then that agent connect to Shane's agent and this agent, and then each agent communicate, hey, so my like a so Shane agent, hey, he actually know some calendars and schedule, and then Shane's preference, and then Andy's agent is the same thing, and each agent communicate until they got find the right place to satisfy all of us. And then also there could be some kind of orchestrated agent as well to like coordinate a multi-agent stuff. Could be like a peer-to-peer or some kind of pipeline or orchestrator or hierarchical. So just like you are like an organization on your company. So agent will be represent for your personal assistant. So you probably heard or some curiosity. Hey, so what kind of agent framework? I don't want to develop agentic application from scratch. Maybe it's too hard. Just back in the there, I had to create the networking program like a Java or C. It was a hard time to make it happen. And then after that, we got a lot of great library or SDK or APIs, which made my life pretty much easier and make it faster to implement business service for networking application. So that's why developer always looking for the great framework or library for agentic AI implementation. So you can see that like Microsoft AutoGen, AutoGPT, Crow AI, LangChain, LangGraph, Pydantic AI, and so on. There are huge, great ecosystem in open source or some of the AI company services. But the problem is that today is all about not familiar with not designed for Java developers. But we pretty much care about Java developers. You probably know there are more than 70 million Java developers around the world. So I want to support them and then help them to create agentic application with Java. So that's why we have here like a Quarkus and a LangChain project, like some framework to let and enable Java developer to connect to multi-LLM with the many capability, RAG, prompt, and tools and guardrail and even MCP. So model context protocol. This is just imagine that, hey, so you probably have multiple devices on your laptop or desktop. For example, like a HDMI port or like a USB-A or like your thumb drive or some audio system. So in order to plug in the multi-device into your desktop or laptop, you have a multi-adapter or port, which is sometimes really annoying. So what if you could just one standardized and universal port to plug in out all kind of devices, which is basically like a USB-C port. So MCP is something like a similar concept. You have many LLM. You can go to Hugging Face. You can find more than 2 million model right now. So you can just connect to LLM, and you have so many different application like a Java, Python, JavaScript, and so on. If you have some kind of middle layer and some protocol client to server concept, it's just you can use the standard way plug in, plug out, and communicate multi-LLM, multi-tool from your client and application. That is an MCP around the developer to make it happen. So, and then one great thing is Quarkus is a new Java framework. It actually was born 60 years ago. And the Quarkus is a 100% open source Java project. It provides more than like almost 1,000 extension, like a Maven dependency or library stuff. It's Quarkus already integrated LangChain for Z and also MCP as extension, which gives them a lot of flexibility for Java developer. For example, you can build your own custom MCP server and client based on Java application. You can go to MCP open source project. You can find like a reference MCP server with other party or even other like open source community, more than 100. But you could still want to create your own custom stuff. So that's why the Quarkus gives them this extension, automatically generate some tool provide. I'm going to show in the demo, and then you can override custom logs like just like observability and traceability. And you can have two different provider like standard IO or HTTP with some security. And at least for last, the Quarkus provided great developer productivity capability, not only AI applications, but also like a general microservices. You can have exactly the same capability to increase developer productivity, like a live coding and guardrail observability and adding easily RAG or build native compilation and dev or dev UI and so on. So I'm going to jump in the demo. This is like a 10,000 feet my demo architecture. I'm going to use LLM, like probably like a pretty much a formula with the U, like GPT 4.0 mini, something like that. And then Quarkus application with the LangChain and MCP, multiple MCP server and external services as well. So here is my ID tool. So this is, I already created this application. When I go back to service here, and then, okay, here we go. So you can go to my GitHub, Daniel030, and the Quarkus Agentic MCP Git. This you can just hold down and a fork, and then you can replicate this one. And then here's my all my social media, Daniel030. So you can find me, you can Google me actually, and then you can ask any question even after this session, or we're gonna have an office hour, like a 2:30 Eastern time. You can just jump in and ask any question after this demo as well. Alrighty, and then back to ID tool. My Quarkus application is pretty simple, and then go to source directory. I have one Quarkus like a services here. So this is the beauty of the Quarkus LangChain integration. So it's pretty much easier. You can actually create the one interface for your AI services with some one annotation, something like a register AI services. And now you have AI services with that. Okay. And then the other thing is that you can actually set up like a session scope for like a short term or like a long term application scope, whatever you want. And the most important thing is you can actually set two annotations here, system messaging and then user messaging. So user messaging is kind of a system message is kind of first initial messages sent to LLM, define your model scope and like a behavior. So for example, you are have a personal assistant executing task as a request, and this instruction you can set up. This is like a prompt engineering, by the way. And then I don't want to read all kind of instruction here, but the most important thing is here you have a multiple tool. Hey, you have a tool tell you content current the date and time, and you have another tool interact the local file system, and then you have a tool like access Google Map to calculate distance, search a location, and discover a new place to visit. And then you have another tool to pass notification to Slack channel and online channel. And then you can also search tool using like a Brave search, or you could Tivoli, it's like some open source like a search API and tools. And then you also use your memory retrieval, which already you can create a knowledge graph on your memory to remember what is this previous conversation and redefine any result, but for directly send it back to your output to end user, like me, something like that. And then here's a implementation node. The tool should be proactively without recurrent user prompting, which means I'm not going to say, hey, you need to use like this Slack tool, or you need to use this web search tool to find the information. I'm not going to say anything because the agent fundamentally have autonomy to define and select which resources, which tool they're going to use from LLM side. And then multiple use, you can use that appropriate. And each analyze should be documented. And if we ask, should analyze that. So this is like a prompting, and I'm going to create some simple chat box here. And an application property, this is how Quarkus MCP extension enable developer define MCP server. So by the way, this is a Maven project, and I go to like a Palm XML in case you are interested. So I'm going to use the Quarkus Race version. The Quarkus community project release the minor version like a XYZ, like a minor version every other week almost. And then I'm going to use Java 23, and then you probably know Java 24 just came out. I probably upgraded 24 in soon enough. And then you can see that the Quarkus range for the MCP extension I edited. This is a Vortex because Quarkus is actually running on reactive stuff. And then I'm going to add a micrometer registry for observability, like a tracing telemetry data, and then like a metric data, and so on. Because I want to check it out, what kind of communication tracing data between LLM agent application. And that's it. And based on like a WebSocket, like communicated in front-end application. And the one last thing is I'm using LangChain for the OpenAI API compatibility here. And then go to application property, and I'm going to use the OpenAI API key, which is my OpenAI API key to connect to GPT-4 or Mini, just like here. And you can set temperature like between like 0 to 1, going to more credibility or accuracy, something like that. I'm going to put all logs here, and then I'm going to run like an OTel, OpenTelemetry tracing to trace down all the logs between my application and LLM. And then here's I have set up my MCP server like a file system. And as you can see, I just put on the command npm like a Node.js executing this node stuff. So Quarkus automatically run this command line and start the server process of my local machine. That's exactly I said in the presentation. So it's automatically start MCP server as a server process. You don't need to run some separately, independently, like an npm server stuff. And then this is a huge benefit for developer, accelerated inaudible process, and so on. So I have a set up multiple like a file system and a memory and the Google Maps and the Brave search and the Slack. I just said this configuration. I would say this is a configuration model, but I cannot. But you cannot see any source code here. So it really just said that, okay, you can just did prompt engineering here, but I don't have any code how to invoke, how to use the MCP server. So this is actually auto-wire by Quarkus and MCP extension. Only thing as developer you could need to do, just set configuration in your Quarkus project. So let me try to start Quarkus dev mode, which gives some live coding capability. I'm gonna run Quarkus right now, and then let me try to give it up some time. It really will take some time because when I go to here, and then it tried to run some container. Let me try to do that. You can see that the Grafana, because I already set it, the OpenTelemetry, like a LGTM stack to stand up Prometheus, and then like a tracing tempo, and then OpenTelemetry, and then like a Grafana for visualization stuff. It takes really some time to spin up. If you just don't use like observability, it really much faster. So I have this Quarkus application is running right now, and then go to web browser. Let me try to access like a endpoint from here. So this is my like a front-end application, pretty simple. And then I'm gonna change some color, some stuff, and then I'm gonna try to ask some question. Go back to my project. I'm gonna put in some quick intro prompt. Here, my name is Daniel. I'm a member of a team with myself and James, and then I like Italian food, and then I'm like a strict gluten-free diet. And here's my some request. Hey, please find one good restaurant in Boston area. Highest rating, like some Google mentioned earlier, like more than Google 4.5, something like that. And team dietary need and preferences, and invite a team and launch it to PM next Friday. And then you're gonna message this kind of stuff any current time and figure it out. Specifically, like a nearby, like a Back Bay area in Boston, like a Prudential building, something like that. So, but I don't mention any kind of specific tools here. Just asking, I'm gonna ask to my personal, like a human being assistant, and I'm gonna copy here and then put in the chat, and I'm gonna send it to that, and in the back to my here, and then you can see that, oh, I got some just this error is some you could be ignore this kind of some other stuff here. Okay, and go back to here. Takes time. Oh, I got something, this story file. Oh, okay. So I got some same issue actually, like yesterday. There are some change into when I open the activity monitor, and you can see that it automatically npm the sub process automatically running up. And then if I go to Python, and you can see that the new Python is also to run the file system. So this Quarkus automatically start up this kind of thing, and then should be. Let me try to maybe delete something is time. Probably this one, and then go to current time. Okay, let me try to maybe just this one. And go back to my browser. Oh yeah, I got some error function supplier. Oh, okay. So maybe this is a video of the live coding. Okay. Go back to bot and change. I'm going to stop the demo once again. File system tools. Let me try to run one more time, and then maybe slide change the prompt here. With this kind of thing, and preference, and then time description, without some current time. And then I'm gonna just remove the current time. Okay, let's try this one. So the reason why I got an error, because I use external, like an open source MCP server, so which actually existing external API, but I just running on in my local edge server processor from like a local process, but that actually invented by some third-party open source. So they keep updating. So sometimes they updating version really fast, and then some kind of like an API specification doesn't match. So I got some error with that. So in order to avoid this kind of error in the future, you probably create your own custom MCP server and client, which I mentioned earlier, having by Quarkus MCP extension. Okay, let me try go back to, and then hopefully this will work. And then go to here, and then ask my stuff. And you can see that there are a lot of the communication is already happening in the super fast. So when I go back to probably here, and then you can see that there are many kind of restaurant kind of stuff. So if I actually ask sending my lunchtime selection, I don't see any kind of thing. And then go back to personal assistant and then ask that, and then back to my application. And then once again, it's really fast communicate LLM, but the LLM automatically autonomously decide which tool they're going to use. And then the launching time, you're going to send it successfully, and then go back to launching time. Now you can see that. So it's automatically sending to my Slack channel. And I can ask any kind of stuff, like for example, go to, so what was the reasoning to arrive at this recommendation? And then it automatically step, oh, this is your reason thinking from my like agent stuff. And then even if you can ask what kind of tool you actually use for each action, something like that. And then the LLM decide which tool for each step, like autonomously. As you can see, there are some of the no specific tool required understand the user request, but some of the relevant here. I'm using functional Brave search tools and among others. So when I go back to my terminal, and then there are Quarkus Dev UI, and then here is observability, as you mentioned earlier. So it automatically generates some OpenTelemetry data. And then when I go to like a tempo, which is a tracing data, and I'll see a lot of kind of this previous transaction. If I go to somewhere, some maybe better thing, let's see that. Probably I'm gonna check the right one. Okay, maybe this one. Probably spend ID. So you can find there more detail in the logs here, and then did actually find all kinds. Oh, probably this. Oh, now you can see that this is your ChatGPT completion. You can find the logs, and then there are many. Oh, this is my system message, just like my application and assistant. You can get the functioning calling, and then you could trace down what kind of tool actually selected and then communicate by LLM between agent application. So this is a pretty much interesting how to define as Java developer with this configuration model based on Quarkus and so on. And the more important thing is you probably just scale this kind of stuff, not just you, because I'm already done creating my agent application. So what about I'm gonna create this one for my team? So there are several ways, like a traditional way. I just push and commit my code into some centralized Git repository, and then the other team member just pull down again, and then just do whatever I did it. But this is some kind of challenge for them to replicate that application exactly same in their local machine. That's the internal developer portal came out to give us some shared workspace from all the application development environment, like a Git repo, and then your small like ID tool, like a cloud ID, as well as all you need to like a CI/CD or application software template and the tool and so on. So, but that is an internal developer portal concept. But as a developer, you probably don't know how do you create a software template. For example, Backstage, like one of the CNCF project, is some great open source tool to build your own internal developer portal. So most likely platform engineer create that, but you just ask them, but you have to multi-conversation with them to fix that, change, improve, and so on. But Quarkus actually provide a good extension, like a Backstage extension. For example, I'm going to create a new Backstage stuff. Let me try to stop this one, by the way. And then just create a new one, and then go to Backstage. I'm going to try to, okay, just finish one, and then I'm going to try to open the application. And then, as you can see, Quarkus project is pretty much simple. It's just Quarkus application. When I go to here, it's just greeting. And then if I just open the terminal and then run my Quarkus application, it's pretty much just a hello world and an application. But I want to just generate some software template to share all my team based on this application as skeleton. When I go to dev UI again, and now you can see that very simple. And here's my REST endpoint. And you go to hello, it's hello from the REST, which is so simple. And then go back to my application, and let me try to oops. Let me go to just stop, and then try to add Quarkus Backstage extension. And then just go to open application property, and then go to, oops. Oh, I just could something happen. Okay, I just stop it. I just want to run this kind of thing. And go to terminal. Okay, and then okay. Let me try to add, what is that? Just, okay. So Backstage catalog installation, which is true. And Quarkus Backstage, let me try to create a new template. And then Quarkus Backstage and template generation. True. Okay, looks good. And then you can see that when I change that, I have a skeleton project automatically created under the Backstage directory. And then I don't see anything right now, but I actually run my Quarkus project. And when I run my Quarkus project as like a demo again, it automatically generates some of the like a code snippet and skeleton project and some of the software template, like a bunch of the YAML file automatically. And one of the good thing is Quarkus extension automatically start like some container image for like as dev services based on Podman, the test container. If I go to here, you can see that Backstage container automatically start up. I don't need to add any like a test container or Docker or Podman CLI. It automatically go there. And then I just need to reload. Okay. Because let me try to restart, because I think I start mistakenly Quarkus debug mode. Hopefully all process gone right now. If not, I need to kill manually to running on some of the stuff here. Okay, it's Quarkus is automatically running. Hopefully not conflict existing. You can see that the container, backstage container based on test container automatically stand up. And then, okay, I think this is good right now. And then go to WI again. And then you can now see the backstage here. And then now you can see that backstage template automatically start. And then you can see the new Quarkus template. And then you can see that, hey, this is my like a Agentic AI app. And then you can create. And then here's like some of my Maven project artifact. And I'm just a review in the Git repo, which is automatically stand up on my local machine as container. And then when I create this kind of stuff, it automatically creates some AI application. But this is very fundamental stuff. In the reality, you could start from here rather than scratch, because when I go back to my project, now you can see that all Java project automatically created. And then here's the config YAML file, catalog info is which is represent in the backstage stuff. So I actually add on more use cases, just like I showed first my agentic AI application into like a Kubernetes cloud, which is this thing. As you can see, there are many software templates like a microservice, even Quarkus, JavaScript, and so on. And then I have a new software template here. When I created this one, I'm going to create a new agentic AI, and like a TechCon. And here's my old like a Maven project stuff. And the image registry, once I build my application and containerize it into private container registry, you can actually push it into any container registry, like a Docker or IBM container registry and so on. I'm going to set any model. So I'm going to use the same model, GPT-4 Mini 1, and I'm going to set select like a multi-MCP server, like a Brave Search or Time, Google Maps, memory, Slack, some of the stuff. And then this is my GitLab repo, which is automatically created for me. I don't need to even fork the working GitLab or Git repo for my own account. It automatically created for me, which means that whenever I do something, edit, updated, that kind of stuff, it automatically have a own like a sandbox environment. I don't need to impact any kind of stuff. And then you can go to CI, and then it automatically triggered like a CI/CD pipeline on the Kubernetes. This is all my space. When I log in my own user, like a user one, could be Daniel O. And then it's pretty simple. The patch repository, like just a git clone, and then Maven build, and then containerize, and then push it into my own Kubernetes namespace. And then I'm just access that kind of stuff. For your colleague and the coworker standpoint, hey, I just run this software template as you contributed, and then I can successfully running on my own namespace, my own source code, my own the IDE with some CI/CD. And now I'm going to add more other agentic AI feature into your project. Because when I go to overview, you can actually open Cloud IDE, which is fantastic because you can actually from start here, or you can go to view source, and then you can just clone that project and then clone it on your local and using IntelliJ IDE or any VS Code, whatever you want. So it's just all kind of happen stuff. I gotta see one question from here. Does Instructor Lab contain any AI agents tool? I would say no. The Instructor Lab is fundamentally around AI engineer or even platform engineer or even Java developer do some fine tuning stuff based on plain text knowledge and skill set. It's more like a creating, it's a improve and fine tuning. It's technical align tuning your fundamental model. So and then so agentic app agent, it actually communicate multi LLM. One of the model could be fine-tuned or align-tuned by instructor lab tool or a fundamental model from like a Hugging Face and so on. So it takes a little bit of time. I'm gonna almost running out of time. I have a few slides here, and then let's go back to demo environment. So what's next in MCP? So a couple weeks ago, when I'm looking at MCP model context protocol open source project, there are like a less than like a 70 MCP server, like a references or a third party. But now it's more than 100. It's a lot of open source company, individual contributor, and then AI services company pretty much engage a lot and then contribute to create a new MCP server and client. And another great thing is coming up some remote MCP support. I use the server process in my local machine, but you want to access the external MCP server running on somewhere, Kubernetes or in your any other server on-prem. So you can access remote MCP server, and then MCP server also provides some more advanced agentic architecture, part of the agentic design pattern, like a hierarchical or internet workflow. And the more important thing is more company, open source community participating in gives some great capability in MCP, the open source project. So here are the 3 takeaways today. So agentic AI dev is pretty much complex and spend a lot of time by default, whatever you choose platform framework. And then cloud native scaffolding, like once you've done your agentic AI stuff, and then it's really hard to share, make it working and available with your co-workers and colleagues for AI app dev team. So this is a software template significantly simplify your AI app dev environment and experience. And then one last thing and the most important thing is Quarkus rank chain integration with MCP extension. It allows developer to create a robust and then more developer experience agentic AI application stuff. So let me go back to demo environment. And now deploy is done. And then when I go to topology, and then when I go to Quarkus app, and now you can see the same. I'm not going to ask the same question. It's just a repeatable thing. That's it. That's all I want to show. We almost time. And then any questions so far?
Yeah, thank you so much, Dan, and thank you, Shane. Guys, just a quick reminder to join us again at 2:30 Eastern time this afternoon for our office hours, where you can open up and great questions in the chat. Dan, really cool stuff. And as we transition into the afternoon sessions, we'll hear more about this very hot topic from our guest speaker, Adam, on how AI is driving innovation today. So from Adam Shire's perspective, again, co-founder of Siri, go grab some water, some coffee, check your emails, grab lunch, whatever, but then sit down and strap in for hearing Adam's viewpoint on where AI is driving innovation today. And then we'll see you this afternoon for 2 more sessions in the App Dev and Runtimes track. Again, Dan, Shane, thank you so much. And we'll see you all in about 25 minutes. Thank you.